Good afternoon and welcome to another live stream from Recitals Australia, coming at you from the North Adelaide Baptist Church Hall in North Adelaide. Thank you very much for joining us today. It should be a fantastic concert as we welcome back Aiden Sullivan on his now repaired viola and also Michael Ierace on piano. Thank you very much to the artists for coming back today and rescheduling their concert. We're really excited to have them here. I'd like to also just thank the National Trust South Australia and also 5MBS Radio for their fantastic support of our Emerging Artists series. This entire program is supported by donations, and I'd like to just thank again very much all you wonderful people who've been helping us over the last months as we've embarked on a completely new experiment for our very, very small organisation. We really appreciate it, and we do intend to continue in fact doing these concerts as we move forward, both in a streaming and a live audience capacity as soon as we can. I'd like to just mention that on June the 13th, which is a Saturday, we will be holding the final of the Lunch Hour series, which actually involves the 6 key performances competing for a number of prizes, including the Berenice Harrison Prize, which is a $1,000 prize for the best in series. Look forward to having you with us, and stay tuned for our e-news, where you can learn a bit more about what this exciting day will bring, as again we experiment with holding a final virtually. Let's see how we go. So without any further ado, I'd like to now welcome Aiden and Michael, and thank you again for joining us. Thank you very much, Aiden and Michael. What a fantastic performance and a huge work, actually. Amazing. We're going to try the interview idea again, hopefully this time with working audio. So if you'd like to actually just stay with us for a few more minutes, I'll just head over to the table and we can set up for the chat. Thank you very much for being with us today. I'll say goodbye at the end. Thank you. Can everybody hear me? That's the question. So, whilst we're waiting for Aiden, I'd just like to say thanks again to the National Trust South Australia for their fantastic help with this initiative. Using the North Adelaide Baptist Church Hall has made a big difference to us because it has a terrific acoustic, and also their support for our program has been really terrific, and we really appreciate them being part of it. Oh, hello. Welcome. I'd also like to thank 5MBS for their beautiful audio recording of these series. They've been with us for many, many years, and as Recitals Australia, in fact, is nearing its 50th anniversary in our emerging artist programs, we really do appreciate all of our partnerships with friends throughout the state, and also, of course, in Adelaide, and our individual patrons who make everything possible. So, we'll assume Aiden has caught his breath. Have you caught your breath?
Just.
Oh, well done. What a huge program.
Thank you. Yes, yeah. It's a bit of a slog.
Oh, exactly right. So I thought we might have a little chat. You're doing your honours with Stephen.
Yes.
Yeah, Stephen King, which is pretty exciting. So for those of you who don't know, Stephen is the violist in the Australian String Quartet.
That's correct.
Yeah, fantastic. How far along are you? What are you currently doing? And I guess the interesting question is, how has COVID and our strange situation impacted on your studies, I guess, yeah?
So currently in my final semester of the honours, so I've got the big recital coming up soon. But yeah, I've been lucky that I don't have too many contact hours being in the honours year, so I've only got a sort of performance forum with the other students and just lessons. So luckily for me, that was reasonably easy to transition online. Although the lessons online are a bit difficult in comparison.
Can you explain how they're different?
Well, in many ways. I guess first of all, you're not with your teacher, so you're sort of trusting the internet connection and the sound coming through the speakers, and as well as your microphone.
Well, and in fact, even today, the internet connection was pretty good, but we still had trouble sometimes, right? It sort of kind of fell out, and anyway, so I suppose that interrupts the communication, or is it just the fact you don't have the humanity?
It's a bit more difficult for, especially the teacher, to have a listen to the smaller details that would get lost throughout either the microphone or the internet itself. So just the small details, and some things are a bit harder to sort of convey without maybe showing, or just a little bit more difficult. But it was still possible to do, which was a good thing.
Yeah,
so,
well, it's better than not doing it at all, of course, which is pretty exciting.
Exactly.
Was there much travel for you involved in the current period of study, or not really? Was it sort of mostly here? So, I mean, obviously you can't travel much at the moment. So.
Not much travel at all, but luckily I could still practice at home, and I feel sorry for those with maybe piano's not at home, or extensive percussion instruments that you might not actually have on you. So their plans have been thwarted a little bit with this semester. But
it's a really unusual period, and even look at what we are doing. Everything is different, really. Although, you roll with the punches, right, and see what happens.
For sure, yeah.
So I'm assuming that the Brahms and the Walton forms part of your performance, the recital. Would that be fair?
Yeah, that's the major part of my 50 minutes of the recital.
Wow,
yeah.
Okay, good. Well, good practice.
That was great to do it today, yeah.
I'm very happy to have you, give us a preview, I guess. Yeah. What attracted you to the works?
Partially because, or the Brahms especially, because there aren't too many sonatas the violists can sort of turn to, but in fact the Brahms was written for clarinet and piano, so we've sort of taken that one on. But one of the overarching reasons for the repertoire this semester was in preparation for a master's audition overseas. So all the repertoire I'm doing this semester is leading up to what repertoire I'll need to audition with.
So it was sort of chosen because you had to kind of do that audition with that repertoire?
In a way,
Right,
but
okay.
I had a bit of flexibility. But
Yep.
also, it's just lovely to play. The
Oh,
Brahms
it's amazing
especially.
work. Well, and the Walton too. It's it's a beautiful piece, I think.
Yeah.
Very challenging though. Lots of double stops and wow.
Yeah, there's a couple of notes there, a couple of notes.
So I guess maybe as a final kind of question, because I don't know how's time going. Yeah, 2 minutes. Doing good. So in terms of this experience, I mean, obviously we don't have people with us, but they are with us, right?
Yes.
So the interesting thing is that they're with us in a very different way. How did it feel for you, I guess, as a performing artist, to compare that audience being there but not? You know?
It was a very interesting experience actually. I'm glad to have the opportunity to do so. But it's interesting because at the start, sort of 4 or 5 people just doing the audio in the room, so you feel the presence at the start of the concert kind of feels the same. But I found myself maybe getting lost in the Brahms and getting into the music, but it felt less of a concert that I was putting on. Not sure what it felt like, but
it certainly felt different.
It felt different.
Right.
And
did you still have a few nerves and things?
All the nerves are still there. You've still got a couple of things pointing at you and looking at you, so
Correct.
you can definitely feel the attention still, but without the presence, which is an interesting.
How do you fix that? I was sort of wondering, do we put up cardboard cutouts of people saying, obviously that doesn't make any sense. It'll be an interesting question, I guess, about how we kind of transition back to, performance with audience, right? I mean, Recitals Australia is going to, I think, continue to do the streams as well as then combine it with live performance.
Yeah.
And the main reason for that is like our normal kind of lunch hour series audience, as you know, you've been with us for a few years.
Yeah.
What do we get? 100 people, 150 people.
It's good.
Whereas what we're getting with these live streams, 700 odd people watching it during the week, which is actually pretty cool. And they can do it on a Thursday and a Friday afterwards. So we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Would you like to thank anyone?
I'd just like to thank all of you here today and for setting this up and allowing me and the other performers to still perform throughout these interesting times. And it's good to still have those sort of hurdles that me and probably other performers have put in to prepare us for other things, to have them still in place so that everything can sort of still move on. Yeah,
like the challenge, I suppose, which was always our objective, is to give you that opportunity, I guess,
And
performance opportunities still remain really important, I think, for your development. So we're very excited to be able to do it. So
it's been great.
Well, perhaps on that note, what I might do is thank you, Aiden, very much for coming today. Mammoth effort, and it is certainly, a thing that I respect greatly, despite the kind of relaxed nature of the man sitting next to me. I think that he's done a really terrific job. And also thank you very much, of course, to Michael Ierace as well. Fantastic job on the piano. And of course, thank you very much to all the audience as well who've been part of our performance today. So whilst you're not with us physically, you certainly are, of course, according to the way I feel anyway, with us on the other side, and your reactions on our various platforms, Facebook, Vimeo and our website, do make a world of difference to us. Do remember that the Recitals Australia programs, particularly our Emerging Artist series, are all supported through donations. And if you do wish to give us something, we are really incredibly grateful for anything that you think you can give, and it really makes a big difference to us. So, for the afternoon, this is Mark Derard signing off. We will be having a very small break leading up to June the 13th. So this is actually the final of the autumn series of the Lunch Hour series, effectively main performances. So there won't be a performance on next week, but then look forward to having your company on Saturday, June the 13th for the final. And of course, we'll also be announcing what we'll be doing in spring, leading up very soon after the June 13 final. So, good afternoon, and thanks for your company.